Hello students, welcome to English lecture. Today we will discuss the aspects of drama A Midsummer Night's Dream. Let us discuss the aspects. Now, first of all, we will discuss A Midsummer Night's Dream as a Shakespearean comedy. Shakespeare's comedies they have special features and they have some common qualities also. So let us discuss these common features as well as special features in Midsummer Night's Dream. Love has been the prominent theme of Shakespearean comedy, which is present in A Midsummer Night's Dream. So, love is the main theme of this comedy, A Midsummer Night's Dream, because we see that there is the theme of love which is reflected in the pair of Lysander and Hermia and Demetrius and Helena. So that's why in typical Shakespearean comedy, love plays a vital role as a theme. So that's why we can say that A Midsummer Night's Dream is a typical Shakespearean comedy. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, also, we find this conflict between Hermia and her father. So, conflict is the soul of drama. And here also, we see there is a conflict in the drama, and that gives rise to the actions. Now, this conflict is between Hermia and her father because her father does not allow Hermia to love Lysander or to marry Lysander. And that is the main problem or that is the main challenge in front of Hermia. So, this conflict gives rise to many other actions in the drama. It leads the entire plot of that drama. There are some elements of separation and reunification. Yes, this is also true, and we can see that all these things are present in Midsummer Night's Dream because separation here Hermia and Lysander they are separated for some time. Demetrius and Helena they also are separated from for a while, and again they are reunited. So this separation and reunification that is also a special feature of any Shakespearean comedy. Mistaken identities of Lysander and Demetrius also add comic humor in this comedy. Yes, when we see that Lysander loves Helena because of that the effect of that magic juice, then we can see that this is mistaken identity. And that's why there is a conflict in drama and it is a humorous conflict. The use of supernatural elements such as witches, spirits, fairies is also present in this comedy. We see that the entire world in forest is different from that of palace. And here we can see that the world is mysterious, it is magical because of the supernatural elements like Oberon, the king of fairies, and Titania, queen of fairies. So, Puck, that is also a spirit, and it plays a vital role. So, supernatural elements they are always present in Shakespearean comedy. The use of songs, dances, clever ideas, setting of imaginary world, that is world of fairies, background of wood, all these typical Shakespearean comic elements are present in this drama. So hence, A Midsummer Night's Dream is indeed the best example of Shakespearean comedy. Now, let us talk about setting of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And this setting is an inevitable part of the plot. So it cannot be separated from the main theme or the main plot of the drama. And that's why it is inevitable part. So let us discuss this activity or this question in this slide, that the setting of A Midsummer Night's Dream shifts from the palace in the city of Athens to the enchanted and mysterious forest. So there are two places mentioned in the drama. First is palace of Theseus and Hippolyta, and the mysterious enchanted forest of Oberon. So the setting is suitable for comedy as well as love theme. The palace in the city of Athens is marked by laws, social norms, and sense of order. Yes, because it is formal world, and there all the rules, all the laws, they are performed here. So it is marked by laws, social norms means social behavior, manners, and sense of order. So, whereas the forest is a place of wilderness, mystery, and romance. So, everything is imaginative here, everything is emotional and sentimental, and that's why this is a place of wilderness, mystery, and romance. The events of the play reflect this contrast. So when we see that Theseus and Hippolyta they are going to marry, and that time Euges, father of Hermia, comes there in the palace and he complains this Theseus that my daughter is not following my order. So here you can see completely an atmosphere of law and order in the palace. But in the next place, in the wood or in the forest, so there is a different picture. So this gives that contrast in the theme. The wood is important as a setting because it is a magical, unrealistic place where anything is possible which suit to the theme and plot of the play. So the world of fairies, that is world of Oberon, is beyond imagination. It is imaginary world. So anything is possible here. For example, that use of magic juice on bottom, sorry, use of magic juice for Titania and the head of bottom, that is of donkey. So everything is possible here. And that's why this imaginary world gives a very live feature to the comedy. The stage setting has been arranged according to the need of the characters and plot. As the setting of the stage changes, the characters change accordingly. Yes, when Lysander and Hermia they are in the palace, then their behavior is different. When they come to the forest, then their behavior is different. The characters in the forest they are different than the characters in the palace. So, as the setting of the stage changes, the characters change accordingly. The shift from palace to the wood is a shift of the plot from real to imaginary. So, in palace, we see all the realistic things, and in the wood or forest, we see that there is the world of imagination. Hence, setting of the play is an inevitable part of the plot and it plays a vital, that is, important role in the comedy. Now, a character sketch. The character sketch of Hermia. Hermia is one of the strongest female character in the play. She passionately refuses male authority of her father and follows her own intuition regarding her love. Because there is no option for her to run away from the palace. And she accepts this challenge and she acts upon it. So she has that intuition, she has that passion, and she has that confidence. Hermia faces difficult choice. She must either marry Demetrius or else give up all freedom and become a nun. So these are the only two choice for left for her. In order to avoid this awful choice, that is fearful choice, Hermia decides to pursue her true love by fleeing Athens with Lysander. So she runs away from Athens to the forest. So this shows her courage. This decision shows her immense courage and confidence in herself. She has all feminine characteristics. She is sentimental, she is emotional. So these are like love, anger, possessiveness, and sentimentality. All these uh, feminine feelings, they are present in her character. All these shades of her nature are reflected when she takes her frustrating out of Helena, accusing her and saying her cruel things. So, as far as the drama is considered, then we see that Hermia is at ease and she is very cool. But when it comes that there is quarrel between Helena or misunderstanding between Helena and Hermia, then that time she accuses Helena by saying some cruel things. Hence, she seems to be more human because this is realistic picture of human being. We human beings also have all these notions, that is all these qualities in us. So in this way, Hermia becomes the realistic character in the play. The character sketch of Lysander. Lysander is lover of Hermia. Lysander is a handsome young man of Athens who is in love with Hermia. Hermia's father does not approve him to marry Lysander because he desires that Hermia should marry Demetrius. He is courageous and runs away with Hermia in the forest. So, that much courage he has. He truly loves Hermia and ready to face the challenges to prove this love. So he is ready to prove the challenges, to prove his abilities. When the love potion is removed and the couples are discovered, Lysander bravely explains to Hermia's father his love for Hermia. So at the end, we see that when all the couples are discovered, then Lysander bravely explains Hermia's father that now he loves Hermia. So this shows his courage. Lysander is romantic and poetic when he expresses his love. So he is a typical lover and he expresses his feelings in beautiful manner, that is poetic and romantic manner. So this was about Lysander. Now Demetrius. Demetrius has fickle nature, double nature. He is an Athenian man. He is also young, handsome, and he comes from Athens. He used to be in love with Hermia's best friend Helena. So once, some days ago or some years ago, he was in love with Helena. But because of his fickle nature, he quickly switched his attention from Helena to Hermia. But his nature changes according to the time, and that's why that is fickle nature. He quickly switched his attention from Helena to Hermia. The way he treats Helena is not so good. He refuses Helena, he hurts Helena, so this is not so good. When Helena follows him in the forest, he expresses his dislike for her, which is inhuman, which is a rude thing. Demetrius' behavior is bad enough to enrage Oberon and makes him to take decision of setting this pickle. So, when Oberon observes that Demetrius is very rude with Helena, then he doesn't like that and he becomes angry and he takes a decision that he will set this fickleness of this Demetrius. Minded youth in right place and to treat Helena with love and respect. So Oberon orders Puck to use magic juice. Thus Demetrius' hatred for Helena gives turn to the romantic love story. Another character, that is Helena. Helena displays the sad truth that sometimes love is just a lonely street and you could be the only one there at the moment. Her love is one sided. She loves Demetrius, but Demetrius refuses her. And that's why it is one sided love, and she has patience for that. Helena is a woman who falls in love with Demetrius but rejected by him. She is desperately seeking his attention and love but does not get it. She is unsuccessful to get the heart of to win the heart of Demetrius. She is jealous of Hermia. Actually, all Athenians admire her beauty and fairness, but Demetrius chooses to fall in love with Hermia, and that's why she is jealous of Hermia. She wonders why it is difficult for her and what makes Hermia so lucky in love. She is tactful. When she discovers Hermia's plan to elope with Lysander and plans her own strategy, in pursuit of Hermia and Lysander, she believes she will get Demetrius alone and makes him fall in love with her again. So she has that confidence that if she tries hard, then she can change the mind of her lover, that is Demetrius. She portrays her determination as well as her desire and ambition. So you can see here a woman of determination and desire and ambition. Her devotion to her love is admirable and courageous for a woman, but when Demetrius rejects her love again and again, she loses her confidence and she thinks that she is not pretty, she is not beautiful, and that's why Demetrius is avoiding her. So, this nervousness comes to her, and these are the features or these are the characteristics of the character of Helena. You can see here Hermia and Helena, they are good friends. Now let us discuss some imaginary characters here, that is Oberon. Oberon is the king of fairies. His wife is Titania. Oberon and Titania quarrel over the custody of an Indian boy. There is a small boy, Indian boy, and this couple quarrels for that possession of that Indian boy. Oberon tries to prove his authority as a husband. He is a typical husband and he wants to prove his authority. He asks Puck to apply the magic juice on her eyelids to cast a magic spell. Puck follows his order. When Titania wakes up, she falls in love with Bottom, having head of an ass. Here, Oberon is seen as a wicked man. On the other hand, when he observes Demetrius' hatred for Helena and his rude behavior with her, he feels sympathy for Helena. So he supports Helena. He asks Puck to apply magic juice on the eyelids of Demetrius so that he would love Helena. So this shows his kindness. Here he is portrayed as a man with sympathy and kindness towards lovers. He brings blessings, good health, and peace to all the newly married couples towards the end. In this way, Oberon is seen as a man having two faces. He is enemy of his wife but a friend of lovers. Now you can see here image of Oberon, the king of fairies, and here you can see that is Puck is the spirit. He has supernatural elements. Now let us discuss the very funny character of Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Puck is one of Shakespeare's most enjoyable characters. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, Puck is a mischievous spirit and Oberon's servant and jester. He is clown, he is a joker, and he tries to entertain his master Oberon. Puck is perhaps the play's most adorable character. Means anybody can admire him, and he stands out from the other fairies that drift through the play. Puck is fun loving and quick witted. Thanks to this mischievous nature, he triggers many of the play's most memorable events and funny events. Puck uses magic throughout the play for comic effect, most notably when he transforms Bottom's head into that of an ass. This is likely the most memorable image of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it demonstrates that while Puck is harmless, he is capable of cruel tricks for the sake of enjoyment. So, this was about Puck, the comic character in the play A Midsummer Night's Dream. So, students, we have discussed all the characteristics of the drama, aspects of drama, that is A Midsummer Night's Dream. I hope you will read the text yourself at home and you try to understand this discussion about the special features of Shakespearean comedy. Thank you. Thank you very much.